Okay, good evening, everybody. I'd like to call to order for the Committee of a Whole meeting of the Board of Education, November 5th, 2025 at 6:30 p.m. in the boardroom of the Administration Building at 70 Conover Road, Colts Neck, New Jersey. If I can please have a roll call, Mr. Marasco.
Mrs. Canna.
Here, remote.
Participating remotely, thank you. Mrs. Horowitz.
Here.
Mr. Rico.
Here.
Mrs. Ramirez. Mr. Regnetta.
Here.
Mr. Scales.
Here.
Mr. Scarpa.
Here.
Mrs. Volpe.
Here.
Walsh. Here. You have a quorum.
Great, thank you. Pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, this meeting has been duly advertised in the Asbury Park Press in a schedule of meetings dated January 16th, 2025, and March 4th, 2025, notice of which has been filed with the Deputy Clerk for Colts Neck Township, and the requirements of posting of notices have been met. If everybody can please rise for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, great. We have a lot to cover today, so we're just going to get right into it. I'd like to take notice of the one information item we have listed under there, the superintendent's report on investigation of Hibbs. And then right after, if everybody's done with that, we're going to move right into the comments from the public. If anybody would like to get up at this time, you're welcome to do so. Please state your name and address for the record. Mr. O'Brien, yep. Yep, just, Dr. Garibay will come assist you with the mic. That's all right, but they're a little tricky.
Kevin O'Brien, 18 The Enclosure. I came on really three things. First, when you come in this meeting, everybody's happy and cheerful, so if anybody in town's having a bad day, they should come here. Second, I want to congratulate you on your energy management program as shared offline. I worked for Honeywell for a number of years, so I get what you folks did. If you need any feedback or thoughts, or more than happy to engage. That's what I did. Last, I've been involved with the issue of Jake's Law was created in 2018 in support of the special needs children of our community. I care about them. There was a brochure that the state put out about Jake's Law that unfortunately Colts Neck governing body is not following. You're welcome to a copy of it if you'd like. The family style, the biggest issue is the family style bathroom is required by law and New Jersey DCA requirements. The new bathroom plan for 5 Points does not include a family bathroom. So if you've got a child who's got to be in a wheelchair, and if I had to take, let's say, my granddaughter, I couldn't take her into the men's room, she should go into the family style. Well, they didn't include the family style plan in their blueprints. Why? I don't know. It's an oversight on their part, and they're not responding. The brochure recommends that the users be contacted seeking the input from the users of the all-inclusive park. That would be the special needs children and their family. That's also referenced in this document. The survey that Colts put out is generic in nature. It went only to the sports foundation members. It didn't go to the some 200 special needs children that you have under the Board of Education umbrella. So I found that a disservice from our town, and again, there's been no response. Today I sent a letter to the Division of Community Affairs asking that Colts be denied their $200,000 grant request until compliance with Jake's Law is supported. I think that's a fair and reasonable request, and I went right to the top of the DCA. I carbon copied Vingo Powell, local assembly members, whoever I could find that's on the upper echelon, they got a copy of my letter. In 2024, Colts was sent a letter over another non-compliance matter and given time to address it. In 2025, Colts failed to support compliance over the 2024 warning letter and was deemed ineligible for a $440,000 Green Acres grant for 5 points. They dropped the ball. Colts was awarded $200,000 by the county for a grant, which on October 24th, it elected to give back. It didn't put it to work. So in short, we were given $640,000 in grant money for 5 points, which was not secured because of poor leadership. The other thing is a map, and it might be tough for you folks to see, so I'll pass it around. But if you look on the one side, you'll see the all-inclusive park is on the left-hand side, and on the right-hand side is the bathrooms. For a child in special needs, whether it be in a wheelchair or some other format, to go from the all-inclusive park to the bathrooms, they need to traverse almost 500 feet, which to me is insane. They could put the bathroom, the all-inclusive park next to the bathroom, and it would be 50 to 100 feet away. But again, they're not listening. They've got their own objectives. So that's what I just wanted to share with you. If you haven't, I know it's not your area of expertise, but I know you folks care about kids, as do I. So that's why I wanted to just share and let everybody know I'm trying. Thank you.
I have a question. The Sports Foundation is a heavy user of 5 Points Park. What's their response to your letter of inquiry to the state, well, the stakeholders?
Sports Foundation is not relevant because they're an outside entity. This is purely just the governing body who's seeking the grant and from the state agencies. So I went to the state agency. The other thing that I found was appalling is our mayor commented that the bathrooms would only be open during sporting events. So if you're taking a special needs child to that park during the daytime hours, at dusk when it's quiet, you don't have access to the bathrooms. If they're getting the money, they got to make those bathrooms publicly available, from my view, from dusk to dawn. I think that's fair and that's reasonable. Yes, sir.
So, I know everyone on the Sports Foundation, and right now there's already something in the works that we already spoke to an architect, and we're already redoing those plans, just so you know.
Wonderful. That hasn't been shared, and I did an open
Because
request.
because nobody knows about it yet.
That's the problem that we have.
But look, whether it's gonna get done or not,
That's yet
again,
to be seen,
is up to the township.
I get it.
You understand?
I
So,
get it.
we're going to, the Sports Foundation is taking it upon itself, which I don't think it should have to do, but it is, and we're gonna, the people on Sports Foundation are gonna see if it is possible to create like a bathroom there that everyone can use. And
What was the cost of this building?
it was
What
$1 million. It
Was
was
it-
something
million?
It was $1.3 million,
absolutely
and the new grant
ridiculous.
says it's only going to now be $745,000. So how we get from $1.3 million to a shorter number?
And in speaking directly, with the architect, we're gonna get it way, way below that.
So I don't want to waste my time.
Hopefully.
Actually, no, you're fine. When we have limited speakers, I don't mind you going over the time at all. I just want to let you know, we always appreciate you bringing stuff to our attention, even though, as president of the board, this is something, I don't think I'm privy to act on, but always know that when you bring something, we will research it, and if there's any way that we can act on it, I certainly will. I'm not sure why the township would do that. I'd like to hear it directly from them, because sometimes there is a little miscommunication. I absolutely love to call out people that are failures at their job, but in this case, I don't know enough about this. I'd like to give them a chance to respond. I'll reach out to Mayor Buss and find out why they're declining or hiding from this. This is news to me that Mr. Rico brought up to me, that the Sports Foundation is in collaborating. We're trying to get something done. But know that, your comments have not fallen on deaf ears, and we certainly will research, okay?
And they don't here, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So I did bring this up to the town committee at the last meeting, and again, there was no response. So it's kind of like you're talking to, you don't get the interaction that we get from you folks.
Yeah.
Here you get
Well,
smiling faces.
Listen, everybody runs their boards differently. I certainly don't want to step on anybody's toes, but I do like calling out the township committee when they fail at certain things, and I welcome their criticism of myself as well. But like I said, we do appreciate you bringing it to our attention. If there's something that we actually can act on, this board certainly would, to help special needs children.
And my goal was not to deny them the grant, but to withhold it until they act
Yeah.
accordingly. So here's the jigsaw, if you want to.
Mr. O'Brien, just a question for you. With regards to the survey that went out, it makes no sense to survey a population that hasn't already received the facilities or the target audience that should be receiving the facilities. So if it's going out to only active participants in sports, it seems to me that this survey is not self-serving enough to go out to the population that actually does need this. Is that accurate to say?
That's accurate to say. I believe it's on, I got it in yellow, where it actually states,
So, and when was that survey done? I mean, when did it commence and when did it?
here's the survey. And to me, it's overly biased, because it's for general use. It makes no reference. Under the jigsaw, they're supposed to ask the users, what are their needs, what are their requirements, what do they want to have? They didn't do any of that.
Okay.
To me, that's a really big miss. The Parks and Recs actually said their database wasn't big enough. But from my logic, you've got so many special needs children, they could have reached out to you and said, hey, could you participate in this with us? I don't know whether you could or you would, but at least they could do is ask.
Absolutely.
We share a common interest in the kids of our community, and get it right the first time.
Absolutely.
So that's where thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. O'Brien. Anybody else like to get up and have Mr. Wickberg, come on up.
Oh, already. Good evening. I just wanted to take a moment to thank the board for their hard work and dedication to our town. I'd also like to extend a huge thank you to the voters of this community for entrusting the Colts Kids First team to provide the children a safe and prosperous learning environment for all children. I'm honored to serve on this board, and I promise to put the kids of this town first in every decision we make and uphold the core values that make the Colts Kids First team great. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wickberg. I'm proud to have ran in this election with you, and I'm looking forward to working alongside, and I'm sure I could speak for everyone on this board. We're looking forward to welcome you in January. So thank you for volunteering your service to the board. Anybody else? Okay, seeing none, we're going to close comments from the public. We are going to move right into our action items for approval. If I can have a motion to move action items 1 through 10 at this time.
Motion?
Anybody have any questions or comments on those items? All right, seeing none. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Walsh?
1 through 10, correct?
Yeah,
Item
take your
number
time.
Number
Take your time.
3, employment.
Yes. Yes.
Why are we bringing that teacher, Dr. Garabay, in a step 11 for a new teacher and replacing a science teacher?
Sure. That teacher is not a new teacher. The new teacher is new to our district. So that teacher comes with years of experience. This teacher was, if you're from earlier board agenda, served in the long-term leave replacement role, and then has agreed to stay on as the teacher for, accepted the role and coming back to the workforce after some time as spending time already as a teacher in another district from prior. So she's re-entering the workforce, in areas, and I think in past agendas, when we can do step one, we absolutely can with regard to and where we are.
Does she have a master's degree or anything like that?
No,
Oh,
no,
just wondering.
no.
that's
Thank you
it.
for the explanation.
Of course, and we always look to, find breakage and different things like that as well. But thank you for the question. It's certainly a good question.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Walsh, for bringing that to our attention. All right, we have a second on that? Yes. Okay, great. Okay, great. If we can get a roll call at this time, 1 through 10.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. Moving right into our communications, if everybody wants to take note, we have 5 communications. I responded to the first 3. The second 2 were brought in today. I committed to 24-hour notice. I did not respond to these 2 because I noticed we had requested these particular items be put on our agenda this evening. So I wanted to make sure if this particular resident is watching, she could follow along to get more information as the board discusses the PASS survey and the Bill of Rights. So just wanted to take note of that. We are going to move right into the board liaison reports. I'm going to start with Mrs. Camera with the Parent Advisory Committee.
Before we cut into
Oh,
that,
yeah.
as it relates to the substitute teacher
Yeah.
inquiry, do they go into a pool? How does that work?
Which item? For number 3, I'm sorry, for 3, yes. So excuse me, there's an application, and so once they're board approved as a general daily sub, or depending upon their certification, they can also serve as a long-term leave replacement substitute. They get added into our system, and we use Frontline. So Frontline has an app, and then when jobs become available, vacancies become available, they can accept the job at will. So, and a daily sub here can also work in another district if they want to. We can be their foundational district where they're initially approved. If they don't have a teaching certificate, they're required to have a minimum of an associate's degree, 60 credits, and also obtain the county substitute certificate if they're not already a certified teacher. Yep, but they go into a pool, and we're always welcoming substitutes all the time, absolutely.
Great, thank you for explaining that,
course.
Dr. Garibay. Okay, Mrs. Harwitz, if you can proceed.
We had our first parent advisory committee meeting last Monday, with 2 sessions focused on the Parental Bill of Rights. During these sessions, Dr. Garibay provided clarifications on some key points related to existing policies, legal review, and teacher involvement. Questions were addressed by Dr. Garibay, Mrs. Volpe, and myself throughout the meeting. I do want to reiterate, because it was brought up quite a few times, that this document consolidates every parental right and board policy that's already in place. There's no new provisions with this. Additionally, this has undergone multiple legal reviews over the last 8-9 months through our law firm that is experienced and well-versed in public sector law. So we have full confidence, I'm speaking for the board, that what is shared and what our legal team is doing on our behalf is protecting us as a school board. That being said, all of the PAC sessions have been compiled and shared with the entire board. Looking ahead, Dr. Garibay and I will be planning topics for the upcoming meetings. Some initial suggestions included the cell phone policy, screen time and technology use, vandalism prevention and student responsibility, extended lunch and recess periods, and parent-teacher conferences. Angelique, is there anything you want to add?
Did you mention the bathrooms? I missed it, if you did.
No, I didn't.
Okay, I know there was some, I
Yes.
remember, I tried to document everything in my brain, what I hear at the PAC. I know there was issues with bathrooms,
Yeah.
allowing children to maybe
amount of
utilize the
time,
lavatories
yeah.
more than twice with certain conditions that students have. I definitely would want to revisit that at our next meeting if we could fit that in.
Yeah.
But I think you covered mostly everything.
Okay.
All right?
Do you want me to jump into PTO?
Yeah, if you will, thank you.
Okay. Just some save the dates. The turkey color run is Tuesday, November 18th. The elementary school store is Monday, November 24th, and Tuesday, November 25th during school hours. On Tuesday, November 25th, if you go to Shake Shack in Eatontown and you mention donation, they will donate 25% of your meal to the PTO. Frosty's Holiday Shop is December 6th, and the 8th grade breakfast is December 23rd. That's it.
Okay, great. Thank you for all those updates, Mrs. Horowitz. Okay, we're going to move on to Mrs. Camera. She is participating virtually. She will brief us on the Colts Neck Township Schools newsletter.
Okay, I've begun working on the next newsletter, which will be distributed before winter break. Our Board of Education Spotlight will feature President Volpe. The newsletter will also include our letter from President Trump, a highlight of our Purple Star status, coverage of student athletes, and of course a showcase of the wonderful events at the schools.
Great, Mrs. Cameron, thank you so much for all that work you put into that. We definitely appreciate it. Moving on, Mr. Regnetta, would you like to brief us on the Colts Neck Schools arts and extracurricular activities?
Sure, thank you. Right now, rec basketball is sign-up is still going on for pre-K through 8th grade. Right now, sign-up is registration is $225 to the 15th of this month, and then after the 15th, it goes up to $245. It'll be from December through March on Saturdays. The exact schedule will come out in the very near future. It'll be 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. at Conover Elementary, and they'll also get one practice per week. Furthermore, on top of that, for those Saturday games looking for scorekeepers, anybody who's in 6th grade and up is eligible to apply to be a scorekeeper. They'll get $10 per game at the end of the season for each game they do. And they do have a mandatory training session for that. For Colts, this Colts Neck Sports Foundation is looking for sponsorships currently for travel basketball. The sponsorships are available for warm-up jerseys. They can also be featured on Colts Neck Sports Foundation's website and social media. And if there's any company that's interested in being a sponsor, they can go to basketball@coltsnecksportsfoundation.com. To inquire. So that's what I have on that. But I do have one more thing. Vince, I'm sorry. I do have to, for the action items, I forgot I have to recuse on 5 and 6, but yes, for the rest, if you could fix that for me.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you.
All right, we'll give Vince a moment to just make sure that's documented correctly, okay? All right, Mrs. Cameron, are you there?
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure, I know we lost you for a second. I'm going to have you do your Colts Neck Township Committee report along with Mr. Scarpa, if you could proceed.
Sure. The last Township Committee meeting was Wednesday, October 29th. I listened to it via live stream. Mayor Buss, Councilman Buzetta, and the Township's Affordable Housing Attorney spoke in great detail about affordability controls in the Grand, addressing specific questions, so I encourage residents to listen to the live stream. November 18th is the Colts Neck Business Association's next meeting, and they are voting on the executive board for 2026. The CNBA wrote 3 checks to our first responders, so thank you. Trunk or treat was successful, and thank you for the CNTEA for volunteering. The Historic Preservation Committee's Haunted Hayride was a great success. I know my son and Angelique's daughter attended. So thank you to all the volunteers. It was made up of scouts, college kids, school groups. Friends of the Library book sale will be November 15th and 16th. Mayor Buss also hosted a Girl Scouts troop. So for other troops, that might be something you're interested in. DPW, that's the Department of Public Works, hosted a Touch a Truck event. and they are looking for residents interested in serving on the committees. There's a website to fill out. It's a citizen leadership form. The last thing that I'd like to post on our website, if possible, DAR, Daughters of the American Revolution, is put out a poster to help support our military. It's for, there's a food pantry at Earl, and then there's a list of things on the flyer that they would like, such as peanut butter and jelly, pancake mix, mac and cheese. I won't read through all of it. Drop-off is by December 8th at the Colts General Store. And so if we could also post that on our website to, just encourage residents and our students to drop off food. And there's other items too, like toothbrushes. I would love to see that. And my last thing is the next meeting is November 12th, and it's also their only meeting in November.
Great, thank you, Mrs. Camera. Mr. Scarpa, did you want to add anything?
Just to add that,
Yeah.
personally, that was very, very complete. Thank you, Phyllis. And then we will be in touch with the township to go over or get an update on these facilities that were discussed by Mr. O'Brien earlier. So I look forward to that continued dialogue. But I'll be personally reaching out to them this week, and we'll report back next week.
Okay, great. Great, thank you. Okay, moving on to the Colts Neck Township Planning Board Subcommittee, Mr. Scales and Mr. Walsh.
No official meeting, but did have some emails back and forth with the Township Committee, which during my ad hoc Affordable Housing Committee report, I will give you some more statistics that were just handed to me last week.
Okay, all right. Anything? Okay. No, that's fine. There's really not much. That's fine. I just want to make sure I don't leave anybody out. Okay, moving on to the Colts Neck Township Senior Citizens, Mr. Walsh.
I just had a meeting today, Colts Neck Inn, first Wednesday of each month. Last meeting I had 93 in attendance, pretty good. I'm sure all the seniors got out and voted, yes, election day. There are some dates coming, membership dues are for November. The dues for 2026 are due this month, including myself, a $10 check. Some dates they have their December 3rd meeting, again, at the Colts Neck Inn. December 11th, there's Elf the Musical, Surflight Theater. I think that's in Long Beach Island, LBI. Never been there. Should make it a point to go. December 18th is their annual Christmas party at the Molly Pitcher Inn. We're headed into the holiday season. We have the Colts Neck tree lighting on Saturday, December 6th at Town Hall at 4 p.m. And December 7th, the Colts Neck Historic Preservation Committee will be holding their annual Country Christmas at the Montrose School. That's it.
Great, thank you for that update. Moving on to Naval Weapons Station Earl. I know Mrs. Ramirez is not here tonight. Mr. Scarpa, do you have anything to add
Yes,
to that?
so I mean, what a tremendous achievement. They should be recognized for an outstanding award, the Purple Star School Award. We will officially be recognized on November 13th to receive the invitation from Captain Smith to participate in that, and that's absolutely fantastic. So thank you, Mrs. Jones, for representing Naval Weapons Station Earl at these board meetings, as you continuously do. We are super encouraged to continue this program, and happy to participate on November 13th. In addition, this board and the administration collected over 840 somewhat pounds of food this past week during these times when with government shutdown, and personally delivered it. Thank you, Dr. Garibay and our team, for making that delivery. But it came at the right time, and it's just small little things that matter the most, and we hope that it was appreciated across the board. So thank you for this continued partnership, and looking forward to November 13th.
Great, I know Dr. Garibay wants to add to that.
Thank you, Mr. Scarpa and President Volpe. I, too, just want to add in this time, I just want to personally thank Mrs. West Jones for all of her cooperation, Dr. Reynolds, Mr. Mercer, Mrs. Milano, the principals who worked tirelessly on each application, 3 applications that documented all of the services, supports, information that's available, training of staff. It's extensive, and when you put it down on paper, it's impressive. It really is, and I want to thank you for guiding that process for us and for putting in the time, as you always do, as an advocate for for the students and families at Naval Weapons Station Earl. So thank you so much for that. I truly appreciate it. And so I will save my longer speech for my superintendent's report on the 19th. So thank you.
Great, thank you very much. Okay, moving right into my State and County School Boards Association, I don't have too much. The New Jersey School Board's annual membership survey is now available. The New Jersey School Board Association is looking to gain insights on their services, training, key district needs, and enhance their advocacy needs. The link to the survey came out. It should be in everybody's email. If you want to participate, you're welcome to do so. Tuesday, December 2nd, 6 p.m. at Howell Middle School North. We have the Monmouth County School Boards. They're holding their meeting. They are going to be covering the 3 R's, roles, responsibilities, and resources. The topic is school budget overview and strategies to avoid the fiscal cliff. Registration is now open for that. I just bought some of these school board magazines. I have some extra ones. I don't know if you guys all received these. You should, but if you would like, I have some extras I brought with me tonight. And that concludes my report for the school boards. We are going to start the committee of a whole work session. I respectfully request that everybody presenting tonight, please, out of respect for people's time, make everything short, brief, to the point, factual, and and yes, we do have a presentation, so we're going to do that first.
Presentation first?
Yeah, let's do the presentation. This way, the folks that are here presenting to us, they don't have to stay for the entire meeting. I want to, who would like to go first?
I'd just like to start
Yeah,
off
sorry.
and thank you, Nick. Comment. Traffic Safety Officer, Colts Township. Nicole, the Transportation Coordinator, thank you. This is reference to stop arm cameras, which the schools are equipped with, operating, and have already caught violations, and tickets have been summoned. So the money we spent on these cameras, it's priceless. No. If it catches one violation or prevents one tragedy, the money is well worth it. I did request the police department come, since they are our law enforcement, to really explain what happens out there in real time. So,
Yeah, it's great. It's actually great to have them here, so we could get a great overview on exactly how this works and what's being done and the finished product. So thank you for both being here.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
For those that don't know me, my name is Nicole Orozco. I am the Transportation Coordinator. I've been in transportation for 24 years, and for 24 years, this has been a really, really big problem. It's a safety issue. It's something that can lead to very catastrophic consequences. So I'm going to start real quick with the statistics. Okay, the data from the National, There we go. Data from the National Association of the State Directors of Pupil Transportation Services for the 24-25 school year highlights the significant prevalence of safety violation. Violations in a single day, a one-day survey is approximately 31% of the nation's school bus drivers recorded 67,258 illegal passings. Projected annual violations when expirated for all U.S. school bus drivers in a 180-day school year is estimated number of legal passings to reach over 39 million violations per year. Despite the number of figures represents a 10% decrease in illegal passings, nationwide compared to previous years is a positive step forward. Right-side passings, an alarming piece of data, shows that right-side passing have climbed to nearly 1 in 5 violations, which is especially dangerous in children often enter and exit the school bus on the right side of the road. I mean, even if we do drop off on the right side of the road, you always have somebody who just doesn't care. Our consequences and safety measure, legal penalties, passing a stopped school bus with red lights flashing is illegal in all 50 states. Although, in New Jersey is one of the only states in the United States that you cannot get any kind of consequence just from a video or a picture. I guess they feel it's entrapment. So there's a long procedure that you have to go through to get something done with this.
Stop arm cameras in many states and municipalities now use stop arm cameras on buses to capture violations and issue penalties to vehicle owners, aiding in enforcement efforts. Safety risk. Each violation puts children's lives in immediate risk, underscoring why drivers must remain stopped until red lights cause flashing, the stop arm is retracted, and the bus resumes in motion. So literally, a car is not supposed to move until the stop sign is back and the lights are off. But again, you don't have people that do that. So the procedure that we have to follow with this system is, first of all, the cameras are on the back of the buses. We have DVRs that are in the buses that are connected to our regular internal cameras. So we have the cameras on the side of the bus, which can get a view of the front of a car. Sadly, not all cars have a front plate, so sometimes it's challenging. So what happens is that when a car is running the driver's red lights, there is a green button inside the bus that the driver can press that snaps a photograph of the violator. And I mean, some of the, I'll show you some pictures in a minute, but some of the pictures are clear, some of them are not. So the procedure is, many districts are running pilots right now. I know Woodbridge is, I know that Shore Regional is, where they're trying to gather as much data possible to try to get a law passed so we can automatically ticket people for running red lights from a video or a photograph. Clear image of a violation includes make and model of a vehicle, clear reading. Oh, there's a picture, I'll just read. Clear image of violation includes make and model of vehicle, a clear reading of the license plate, and a description of the driver. Once all the information is gathered, it is emailed to the Colts PD, Officer Tamayo, along with the image. Police then will issue a summons to registered owner of the vehicle that requires mandatory court appearance. If at any time someone besides the registered owner is driving the vehicle, the owner will be questioned about the driver who has committed the violation. The bus driver will also have to fill out a witness statement that is sent to our office from the Colts PD. In most cases, a bus driver is required to appear in court. The standard penalty of this traffic violation is a minimum of a $250 fine. Fine can actually go up to $1,000, and it is a 5-point license violation. Violators try to plead this violation down, which usually results in a higher fine but a lesser charge, which doesn't really help anybody because there's no punishment for what they're doing. Yes, but if they...
I can speak to a little bit. So, as Sergeant Walsh said before, I'm with the Traffic Safety Unit. I'm on the Monmouth County Fatal Accident Unit, so I respond to fatal crashes throughout the county. I take traffic safety very seriously. It's what my whole job kind of morphed into entailing. So, when Transportation reached out that, this was a tool that's now available to our office, it really excited me, and I reached out to our prosecutor. So, we're going through that process now of issuing summonses to these owners of these vehicles. There's been 5 summonses issued so far. Of course, not every picture is going to be perfect and capture a license plate due to XYZ reasons. But if I can get the license plate off of it, I use other investigative tools such as license plate recognition systems, where I can put in like a gray Tesla at this time of day, and I can see if that vehicle matches a license plate read from a police car or a stationary site within the county, and then I can get the license plate that way. So if I see, there's a guy with a big goofy hat driving the car, and then he drives by a license plate reader in Homedale, and I can see the license plate on that one, I have enough probable cause to issue a summons at that point. So these tools are awesome. Our municipal prosecutor, who I've had a conversation with this about multiple times, is deeply on board with prosecuting these violators. So it makes our job as a law enforcement officer a lot easier when the court and the prosecutor is looking to move forward with getting these violators brought to justice. So.
Thank you.
Here's another picture of
Yeah.
an actual...
Nicole, I want to speak to this one, if that's okay. So what you have here is an image that was Nicole and Audrey Spader, our assistant, they wanted to share, deeply disturbing. This is an image that was taken when we had our cameras. That red dot that's in the center is a child that was walking out of a driveway. Someone ran the reds, what they referred to, and if that child was on their phone, you can see that the child is stepping out in front of the car, right? So she may not have been visible from the car that was going by. But had she not been paying attention, despite the driver's best efforts, because usually prior to the cameras, there was a lot of horn blowing to let people know that children were walking, but that was captured when we had our cameras. And it, as my understanding, this was one of the violations that was actually issued, because the summons that we caught. But I wanted to show you that this is a reality and this is what is happening. So,
Yes.
Shouldn't it have stopped the car?
No, so,
the child wasn't in front of the car, it's on the side there, so.
You got a bus with lights like,
Right.
That car
That's on
definitely
Laird
received
Road?
a warning.
Yes, it
Yeah.
received a
That's-
summons,
That's
correct.
probably, this is on their dash cam, you know, so it's actually gonna work against them. But thank you for bringing this up to our attention. I saw that some cases, if the person's not recognized, they can't issue a violation. What about instances, is that true, that we have to recognize the
the
individual?
guidance that I was given from our municipal prosecutor is to issue it to the registered owner of the vehicle, and then that person has to appear in court, and they have to make their case why they weren't the driver.
Okay, and if they weren't the driver, is there still, like, is it like, could it be treated like a red light violation, like we get in New York City all the time, where
So
regardless of
New
who is
Jersey
driving-
operates in a different area of motor vehicle code than, there's no like civil, it's called civil traffic violations in New York State, I believe, that's what they call it. There's no such thing as a civil traffic violation in New Jersey. It's all a violation of Title 39, that's the motor vehicle code in New Jersey.
Okay.
So it's all, there's no civil, just monetary. There is some stuff, of course, that is just a monetary fine, but
Yep.
there's no civil type fine.
I got you. So
Yeah.
this has to be the car and the driver
Yeah.
tied to it in order for the
Correct.
violation to go
Yes.
through in its current state of
Yes.
law, right?
But like I said, our prosecutor is on board with the whole idea of this and wants to make people aware that this is out there and hold them accountable. So that's why he is basically putting the onus on the owner of the vehicle to say, prove to me that, of course, if I see on the video that their car is registered to a 50-year-old male and there's an 18-year-old girl driving the vehicle, I'm not going to issue, I could further my investigation and call, the register, who was driving your car, that type of deal, and do that. But it's if there's no driver seen, I was given the guidance from our prosecutor to issue the summons to the registered owner.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Does the bus driver have to hit that button, or is it automatic?
I'm unfamiliar with the operation
We can,
of the
we can
unit.
get a video, like, we can, as we pull, like, video footage, like, of our students, we can actually pull video footage of this, because it's hooked up to the same DVR port, but for us to send it, we prefer to snap a picture, because it's easier to communicate that with the police department, instead of sending them a lengthy video of it.
but you could screen, so let's just say the bus driver missed it. We still have the video. You
Yes.
can take a screenshot of the video and then send it back.
Yes.
So then for discovery purposes for the court, they receive a still shot and then they receive a video. So they can play that video in court if the person chooses, to go to trial. They can play the video in court, yes.
Are they out of town or in-town residents, or is it a combination of?
It's a combination of both. There's no, I think it's either a blatant disregard for motor vehicle law and the safety of children, or it's just not paying attention on the roadway, which is a huge problem as well. That's why I have a job at this point. So it's unfortunate, but with stuff like this, it really helps. And my hope is that once people hear that this technology is out there and people are receiving summonses for this, they'll put a little bit more thought into driving and care into students, so this won't happen.
In reference to communication to our community and our parents, what efforts have you made, Doctor, for letting the parents know there are cameras on the buses and just beware?
Yeah, so we were waiting for after the presentation tonight to the board, and then I'll be sending next week a formal letter to parents, making everybody aware, that this has been added as per they can come back and listen to the actual, recording. I'll point them back to the video if they want to hear specific information and details about it. And then, that we usually send that letter at the beginning of the year. We send combined between us and the Colts Neck Police Department about a warning about running the reds. We update it every year. We share with them the violation, but now we're taking a step further, and I'll reference in my letter, joint letter with Chief DeVito, that we're able to go through and, now follow through with what we're saying here, that we take it seriously.
Thank you. Thank the police department for doing what they do every day.
Thank you guys for the support.
I have one question before you scoot out. I heard you say their fines are between $250 to $1,000.
$1,000.
So how do you decide who gets what fine, like with that big of range?
The judge, so the judge will set the fines in that case. So it can't be less than 250 or more than 1,000.
Okay, so it's up to his
completely up to
discretion
the-
on
it's
what
up to her
this
discretion,
person here
correct,
is going to
yes.
get.
Yep.
Okay, and my last question is, how many other districts in Monmouth County do you know of that are using this system?
I know of 2 districts that are doing a pilot. And what that
Okay.
is that there's certain companies that will come out free of charge and they'll put like 6 of these on your buses. And what that's for, it's only used to gather data because they're trying so hard to get this law passed in New Jersey that they can just fine and ticket people just from sending pictures and not having to go to court. Like, as of I know right now, yes. Yes. I mean, one of my good friends, he's a transportation coordinator in Marlboro, they don't have them. And I suggested, that he look into these as well because Marlboro is just as. Oh, you're welcome. I mean, the last part of it, in 2023, 108 people were killed and 13,200 were injured in this form of careless driving. Having a valuable tool here in Colts Neck is an additional measure towards keeping our children safe. It is crucial that we continue to advocate for stricter laws in New Jersey related to this type of violation. And lastly, I will say, I'm in transportation for 24 years. There's plenty of times that I have to drive here because we're very short-staffed. My biggest obstacle that I'm finding here is deer dodging, but I definitely, I watch constantly. Constantly for as soon as I stop and that stop sign goes out, the first thing I do to look to see who's driving over there or who's behind me or who's walking here.
Well, thank you for spearheading this effort.
You're
And
welcome.
We're going to look to put this on our website, okay, and as well as our newsletter. I'll work with Phyllis on the newsletter, so we can get executive summary to the-
I would love to see, just to add to that, I don't know if you mind, if you could put, I don't know if it's okay, like a picture like that on there. So that way the motorist can see, this is what I can see. So they know, like, I'm going to be caught red-handed on this HD image.
Absolutely.
So I think that would really resonate.
So we'll send you a draft before we get to that
That's fine,
point,
yeah.
and we can certainly go from there. That'd be fantastic.
Is it against the law to actually post that person's license plate and put it on a website to make
License
sure
plate
that?
is a matter of public record.
What's that?
There's no expectation of privacy of your license plate.
Okay, so
it's
we
not,
can
but I
actually-
would omit it to be
okay.
nice,
To
personally.
be nice? Well, if you're endangering, yeah, I don't understand. Yeah. I mean, I definitely understand your respect, but for somebody making a violation in this situation, they don't deserve respect of hiding their license plate. I'm sorry, they just don't.
We could get guidelines from the prosecutor's office could tell us what we can and cannot do, I would assume, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So we'll ask, we can ask.
Yeah, we could
that,
ask,
and
we
then-
could ask.
Because we have to have this out there.
All right, and lastly, like I said, Mr. Walsh, I believe this was your initiative. I'm sorry. Okay, Mr. Walsh and Mr. Scarpa, I want to commend the both of you to be a cutting edge on this system, bringing it to our attention, getting it passed, the administration for working so hard along with you folks to get this done. This is amazing. I'm so happy. I hope the community appreciates that we put this in place here. So thank you all for all of your work getting it done. We really appreciate it. And I'm gonna call you Sergeant Walsh from now on.
50 years since I heard that.
Bye, Mr. O'Brien. Thank you for coming tonight. Yep, thank you. Thank you. Okay. All right, so now we are going to move right into the committee of a whole work session. Like I said, we're going to try to spearhead everything and be as brief as possible when presenting. We're going to go right into the ad hoc affordable housing committee report. I'm not sure, you said you had something?
Yeah, I've got
Okay.
stats. I'll give it to you real quick. I mean, it's a good
Okay.
segue. 537 will now be a 5-laned highway. And we're now going to be sending multiple buses over there. because of the statistics that I'm about to read to you. So on the 19th, the Township Committee had sent me, we had asked, and Dr. Gerbe had asked sort of what the layout of Levant is going to be. The town is worried about round 4 and all this. I encourage people to go listen to the last committee meeting about the grant and the extended affordable controls and all that. But we, as a school board, are still in round 3 because Levant is going up. So here are the statistics. There's going to be 15 units, as you're all aware. Out of these 15 units, there will be 1 3-bedroom, 11 2-bedroom, and 12 1-bedroom units per building. Okay? Yep, there'll be 1 3-bedroom, 11 2-bedroom, and 12 1-bedroom units per building. There will be 15 buildings that will be put up, and the beginning will be January, and they expect the 15th to be open between, we'll say, about March or April of 2026. So the issue here is that I'm not going to say the plans have changed. I wasn't there originally, but I am glad we took proactive measures, because now, if you think about this, there will be 180 1-bedroom units, 165 2-bedroom units, 15 3-bedroom units. 14 of the 180 1-bedroom units will be affordable. 43 affordable units out of the 165 for the 2-bedroom. All 15 units that the 3-bedroom units will be affordable. Now again, this is Colts Neck, New Jersey. You're not going to have a 3-bedroom unit as a single person without any children. You're not going to have a 2-bedroom unit. This is way more units than they told us. So when the original feasibility study that they gave us said only 50 children, I'm reading you statistics now. There would be more children than I originally had estimated. So if you think about this, this is a lot of children that are going to be coming into the district. Now, whether or not when the timing is of that, sure, but the proactive measures of who's registering for the school and things like that, we need to stay on top of it, because it's a lot of kids. That's going to affect the infrastructure of our town. Number one, it's going to affect the school buses that we have to send over there if we have to purchase more school buses. And more importantly, it's going to affect all the police and the fire that are in there. So everything that we've been doing as an ad hoc committee has been great, because now we have a number that is concrete, which we've been asking for months. That number is very close to what we had originally estimated, the number of children that we did the feasibility study for. But more importantly, now there is a number of the tax revenue that I expect our school district to get, and that's out there now, and it matches these numbers that they gave us. So again, I encourage everyone to go to our website. They will see all of the affordability controls. They'll see all of what we think the amount of children that will be there, and more importantly, the amount of tax revenue that is going to be owed to us as a school district. And then the tax assessor will now have that in their back pocket to use as a reference, and we'll know if we're owed money or if things are being short, and we go from there.
Total estimated,
Can you put your mic on?
Yep.
did you figure out the total estimated cost for the taxpayer for the student population at the Lavanya?
I did.
Do you have a rough idea of
I
what
can
that's
pull it
going
up
to be?
for you. I'll pull it up and I'll give you to the end. I have to go back to the website, but it should be around $2 million. So we're owed about $2 million, and more importantly, hundreds of children, not 50.
One point of timing here, let's say one building opens up in January, okay? So could students in theory attend our schools January and February, like next semester? Dr. Garabay, could they? They could, all right. So how does that work? Like, how does that work in terms of logistics for busing and stuff like that? Because obviously we have a bus routes plan right now.
Sure.
Is that on the fly? We haven't had
We would need to, I mean, if we needed to adjust, we would adjust, and that would happen. We do it all the time. Not necessarily on our current routes we try to do, but if we have someone that's not currently routed, we follow within the parameters, and, it either adds more volume or to the number of students on a bus, or we'll add a little bit more time if we have to reroute, and then we may, in the past, like looking far ahead, there's more than one, we may, condense and reroute and reassign kids to different bus stops. It's sometimes fluid based upon what the need is through the year. And as students have come and gone, we adapt that on a regular basis. Something of a significant growth, that hasn't been something we've had to address since 2018 with Earl. Correct.
Okay. All right, so we have work to do.
It's going to be a lot of work. It's a lot of work, and I think, again, sort of the reconfiguration of the schools, that we're prepared, right? We've done the groundwork. We've been very proactive, and now we have legitimate numbers. Now, I think more of your realm, they're saying it'll be about every 4 to 6 weeks post-April 2026 that a building opens up and children come in and families come in. So that they're already going to start to take calls, and I mean, that could change, I would assume, as they're doing inspections and things like that. So we'll have to stay on top of the management company to tell us, all right, is this building going to be going online and people are moving in? So that's sort of the last phase of all of this, is now we need to follow when things are going to be opened. So
I looked on their website. They haven't started taking applications yet, and a woman down at the Colts Township confirmed that to me. So I find it a little worrisome that if they are going to be completed with some of these buildings by January or February, that they haven't even opened up enrollment yet for the leases. So I don't know. To me, that's just a big red flag. And I've seen a lot of these large rental complexes come up, and I've had clients call me on them, and I've gone on their websites, and by the time they say, oh, well, construction is going to be completed 4 months, 5 months, 6 months from now. I mean, they have these lease applications and these sales agents taking applications months before these buildings are even built. And here we are. If we are 2 months, 3 months away from the completion of maybe the first 1 or 2 buildings, why haven't they opened up enrollment yet for sales, for rentals? Like, why is there a delay? Is there something that we don't know? Are they 5 months away? Are they 6 months away? Or, are they going to start getting C of O's with Colts Township, and people are just going to be moving in, and we're not going to get a heads up? And that's my fear. That's my fear, because and nobody can tell us anything. The township doesn't know anything. I mean, I could call the third party that's handling the affordable housing for the township and say, hey, what's going on here? How many applications do you have? If they have 72 applications for the 360 units and they're all sold out already, then, maybe I can get some information from them in that regard. But it's been very quiet, and it's just worrisome. Usually they have these places set up, they have the sales set up months and months before these buildings even break ground.
let me ask you a
Do
quick
you want
question.
to try to reach out? Would you mind trying to reach out to that third party? I mean, I don't
could
even know if we're
easily
going to
do
get
it.
really anything substantial from it, but
I could
if
easily
you-
do that.
Maybe this week, if you have a moment to,
Yeah. I could easily call, I could easily get their information, and I can see what kind of information I can get at a third party. I mean, this third party is being paid with Colts Neck taxpayer money to take these applications. So they
all right,
should,
so we should be able to get
we should be able to
something.
get some
Get
type of
something.
information. But
Okay.
but the fact that it's so quiet, and I believe that they're starting to work on the interiors on these buildings.
They are.
It's like, what is going on? How come there isn't open enrollment for the rentals? Why is there no sales force?
Why do you think?
Why aren't they taking applications?
What's the red flag, you think?
The red flag is they already have them all sold, and they
Well,
don't want to tell
I
us.
was going to ask you, hypothetically speaking, because I'll get skewered for this, but do you think, what's the probability of there is already a group of people that they know are going to be moving in?
Very high probability.
Okay, so that's the answer. That's the answer.
Wanted to
Okay.
make sure, because let's just say, again, hypothetically speaking, if there's a group of people that move into those buildings and they are not the children are not attending our schools, it's very mindful for the public to understand.
That would be a very
that
nice
there's-
heads up.
Well, but there's still also a major, major impact to the district.
Absolutely.
Even if the child doesn't attend, so if you don't mind, yeah.
Absolutely.
Correct. We're bound by many laws with regards to non-public transportation. We have aid in lieu that people get when we can't provide transportation. It is actually something that we met with legislators a few years ago, asking them to relook at the laws related to that and almost go to a tax credit as opposed to imposing non-public entities, and understanding, it's not about choice of parents going to private schools or anything like that. It's about that we are required to budget, as you all know, we've been through the budget process. There is an aid in lieu, there are things that parents get when we, as the school district, cannot provide transportation for a child that attends a private school. The onus is on us to pay for that transportation. So that is something that we do need to be mindful of with regard to whatever population is in the district.
So again,
Correct.
even if enrollment doesn't increase, our budget will increase because of the transportation and credits that we have to provide.
have a
So
quick question.
regardless of what happens, we're getting impacted. So
Right.
And Mrs. Horowitz,
Quick
let's just
question.
Yeah, go.
give her the
So with transportation for kids that don't go to our school, like, is there a radius, or like, it's just if someone is going to school in North Jersey, we have to pay for that?
So with regard to private schools and with regard to, off the top of my head, the mileage, I don't remember what it is. I don't think there's a stat, I don't think that there's actually, I know charter schools, it's a grandfather clause. So if someone attends a charter school, say in Jersey City, and they're accepted and they attend that school, if they move to Colts Neck is then responsible for paying the tuition to that school. So that is in the law, and that's another point of advocacy that we've brought up previously to legislators about revisiting that law, as well as the whole process for charter schools becoming established, because while they are public schools, they have some different laws and rules that they play by. So that's something that we have to kind of.
They're not going to get any better. They're not going to get any better, and in fact, they're going to get worse.
we're rearranging the deck chairs.
So,
on the time.
and honestly, nothing's going to come in our favor with any of the school districts and, Monmouth or Ocean County especially. It's unfortunate. It's a fact. What are you going to do? It's just the way it is.
All right,
That probably
it's
wasn't
fair
what you
to
had
say.
in mind, but
That's
sorry,
okay.
that was-
Oh,
I tried
that's
to
okay.
speed
We're
that
going
up
to
as
make up the
quickly-
time. That's okay.
All
It's
good.
important to
That
address. I
concludes my
appreciate it.
report, yes.
Okay, we're going to move right to Mr. Walsh for the Buildings and Ground Safety and Security. Can you please put your mic? I'm sorry, I just want the public to hear you.
Absolutely. I requested Nick to forward some recommended fee schedule for usage of our facilities, and Vince is the point person, business administrator for people requesting to use our facilities. So Nick forwarded each board member suggested rates for rentals, whether it be a cafeteria or a gym, custodial fees, ancillary costs for using microphones, HVAC fees. The comparison was made from a few school districts that surround our Colts Neck Township. Really looked at Marlboro Township in particular. I like the fee schedule. Our fee schedule hasn't been updated in years to reflect our new upgrades and costs that we invest in our school district. So I just put it up for discussion. If you can take a look at it and, add your thoughts. Do you feel comfortable with these fees? You think they
The next step with the fees is just looking at the classes. Is that something we want to still do with regard to, who gets charged and that type of thing? Because there are some districts that it doesn't matter. There's not a priority in terms of.
A and B is absolutely no charge for
Yeah.
kids in school
Correct.
community. C, D, and E, we can charge.
Yeah, we could probably reduce it to less categories, probably,
But we need impetus for me, myself, is obviously we discussed this at church organization and any organization, any church that wants to use our facility.
Kevin, your mic is off
So I
again.
just had a couple of points while he does the microphone. The rates here, we have it stating per day. We might want to button that up in terms of time. I know, I mean, per day could be perceived as 24 hours, so you use the gym for 24 hours. I don't think that's going to happen, so, but we have to like sort of codify the time associated with that, and if it goes outside of the time, then we need to visit the opportunity for expanded charges, because we will be incurring extra charges from custodians. Well, so the custodian charges are separate, right, and that's listed below. And then, what's that?
Oh, yeah, you're right. Those are per hour.
Yeah, and then the top ones, so that's more like capstone charges. So we need to button this up and to make sure that we don't have a violation of time periods, because you don't want a 6-hour rental becoming a 12-hour rental, and then obviously we're running in the red.
And I think that the other thing we want to look at too is that just because there's districts in the language and looking at the different policies, we can put forward, we can work together with Nick and Vince to say, like, here's some language to look at, because some have a minimum 4-hour charge, because you do have to have your custodians before and after. So if we wanted to go to for per hour, right, you might be a minimum of 4 hours. This encompasses you have it for 4 hours, because you're going to need time for setup and whatever.
Move with this at light speed. I'd like to get this accomplished quickly, as quickly as we can.
Kevin, you need to get a different mic, because your mic keeps going off. And yeah, so here, thank you, Mr. Scalf. All right, well, he's got an extra mic. Let's try this one, because no one can hear what you're saying.
There's also some charges here that need to be clarified. So air conditioning charges. So we heard from Nick saying that the AC needs to be turned on an hour before the facility. So if they're renting for 3 hours and it's hot in the summer, according to this, they'll be at 180. That's not true. It's going to be 180 plus the turn on time, so it's going to be 240. So we need to just to button that up. So if it says per hour of use, and then in addition the 1 hour for setup. So I just don't want folks signing on to this and then getting hit with an extra charge because they didn't see the contract.
Yeah, in terms of draft, this is by far from the product. What we would probably put together is that when we were talking about it, would be a draft of almost like a checkoff list. Like, this is what you're asking for, and so it's like column A is the room, column B is the hours, column B is, like, you're almost going through the staff, how many, that it's an automatic fee. So this is just the list of what it would, this isn't the final presentation by any means. This is just for the board's consideration regarding the increases in the fees in comparison to what the current fee schedule is, which we've shared. So I think that, so this is not the final presentation product in any way, shape, or form. This is just the draft of what, for the board's consideration of the increase in the fees. And then also understanding that, so from the fee structure, we had talked about A and B are for kids. That's the one thing that we talked about in the PTO and whatnot. C does get into the adult leagues of the Sports Foundation, which are here all the time on Sunday. So we really, we have to say that, okay, are we anything for the kids? In looking at those class structures, again, we'll work behind the scenes and
Still
do
have to pay
in
for
between.
HVAC and
Correct, and
custodian
that's the
fees
stance that
and-
some people say, that it's like, with the fees, it doesn't, it's still not free. So I think that we just as a board want to be sure of what we're charging, who we're charging, we're clear. If it's for kids, we're not charging. But are we truly not charging? So if recreation needs to have something on a Saturday, which is incurring costs for us, right? Are we not charging? And if we're not,
We can't, listen, I always want to, like you said, never charge, but we cannot
No, I wanna
sell
charge.
ourselves just to, everybody knows there's cost to stuff, right? Even though we have students that utilize a thing, if air conditioning's going to, someone's
gonna
going to
cost
fit in
us
the bill.
money to
Nothing
operate no
is
matter
free.
what.
Nothing
Right.
is free.
Right.
Okay, we got to have some type of charge, that's how businesses go out of business.
Well, that's why
Free,
we're
free,
presenting
free.
it in this format. And then I assume we'll be running into a DocuSign format for a lease agreement. So if we have a temporary or long-standing lease between a third party, are you thinking about a DocuSign?
yeah, I wouldn't lease. That's what we're not allowed to lease.
Just
Yeah,
a rental agreement.
sure. It's a facilities use agreement is what we have currently now. Correct, online. It's a form that they have to provide. They have to provide their insurance. They have to provide their everything else, that liability insurance, all the things that we already have in process are what's required for the use of our facilities in any level. So it's not a long. It would be anyone who would like a recurring use, like so for example, Sports Foundation. As soon as the books open, July 1st, they reserve every weekend that they can available, and it's through the classes that we will say you can't use it this weekend because of this. School's closed this weekend because of that. So there's a reserve, and then we work almost backwards with them to do that. But we don't necessarily have a type of long-standing, it's just recurring request for dates. And we do want to maintain, in my recommendation would be, we do want to retain that control, because if there's ever a situation, we do want the ability to say, you can have it these dates, you can't have it this date, we need another date. So we've done that many times, especially for inclement weather, if everyone's home, there's bad days, there's a million reasons, or there's a play going on, you can't have middle school basketball, you can't, those types of things. We want to maintain that. Yeah.
Okay, and
So
one last thing from me, the security deposit, I don't see it here. How would you factor that into each agreement?
we don't do a security deposit. We have not done that in the past, a security deposit. It's an after billing, after use. There's no pre-charge for it.
Yeah, that might be something we should look into, because damages do occur at the point of usage, and you have no contingency plan if you don't have a collected security.
That's the liability insurance they have to provide for damages.
But then we incur liability costs to actually go after that. Any liability insurance that we were trying to exercise is an incurred cost from legal end on our side. It makes sense in short-term rentals to have every rental has a security deposit on hand, as opposed to relying upon insurance. We can look into that.
Sure, we can certainly, and we'll look into that from our
Facility use
perspective. Yeah.
So administratively, on the board level, we need to refine the language, tweak some of the usage.
Sure, put it together in like a check off. What are you
What type
asking
of
for?
timeline we looking at with working together with Nick? I need a lot of phone calls. We want to use this. I'm trying to maximize, long story short, revenue opportunity for our
Yeah,
district.
remember, and
I don't want to wait and see him go somewhere else.
Sure, so I think that the December is for being able to say we're going to approve new rates and have it in a presentation. I think we can have rates, we can have the languages and go for first read, second reads for the policies. That's something we can move along quickly with. The other piece that which we talked about is the staffing. We have to talk about the staffing, because with regard to our use of facilities, specifically if it's on the weekend, that's either overtime, right now, currently, it's overtime for staff, and we have to be able to staff something that we are sometimes limited with, because it is voluntary, because we don't have a shift on the weekend.
Are you talking about
So-
part-time hires for weekends, for
So
custodians?
it's exactly what it is.
Right.
So if we have a venue, we have to have a custodian, and there are times throughout the years, in the times where we've had to deny use, we don't have somebody who can fulfill that, and that's true. We are legally obligated to have someone with a boiler's license, a boiler's license operating in the building when someone is occupying the building. So that goes for anyone, and that fee is passed on to people when they're using our facilities according to our class structure. So the board, and in general, with the fee structure, the policy, we can move quickly on. The other consideration is, if we are going to expand upon this, do we want to either set up a schedule where there's a rotation and we put it out there and continue with our staff, or do we want to explore a weekend part-time help person to be able to cover this? Because I think that
I think we
gives
should
you
have a part-time on standby regardless.
Sure, so I think
You know?
so we don't currently have that. So, but the fees that we're generating, the revenue that we're bringing in could potentially offset that person, but I want to be mindful of burning out our staff and overutilizing when something, because if staff doesn't pick up on an emergency situation, we have a situation, or we had something scheduled and we can't cancel it, then that automatically defaults to Mr. Moretta, who's on 24/7 call, who has to come to cover the building.
What's the, is it easy to find somebody with those certificates? Is it,
So
paying them $80 an hour? It's a pretty
Well,
good rate on a weekend, especially
Yeah, I
on a
mean,
Sunday.
remember that that's the rate of charge. This is the revenue part of it for the district, right? We're still paying the rate of the pay, the hourly rate of overtime, so it's time and a half for wherever they fall on our current contract. If we're going to be increasing the hourly rates for custodians, that's something that would have to be negotiated. So if you have someone that's another factor to this as well. So I'm just saying we have to be prepared to do it on the staffing side of it. Right. And if we have smaller scale, that's a one custodian. Larger scale venues with a lot of people, that may require two.
Absolutely.
So that's why I'm saying, from a staffing perspective, did it take us quite some time to acquire and secure custodians for this school year? Absolutely. Do we still have people on that we, for our substitute services that we call on? Absolutely, because we cover what we can internal. Our current staff picks up overtime, but we also don't want to be continuously burning out and canceling on people who are paying good money to be here, that doesn't look good for us. So we want to be able to make sure we have a nice package that we can deliver on a regular basis so that when people are making a substantial investment in using our facilities, we can follow through on that return on that investment for them. So it's about the fees and it's about the facilities, but we also want to make sure we have the staff to do so.
Would this be poorly thought out if we get the schedule done, we approve the schedule, talk to the residents that are asking for use, start them off with the staff that we have, and Mr. Moretta overseeing it? I certainly don't want overtime, and I don't want Mr. Moretta having to stay here at all on call. But I'm just worried about we do all this, and then the people that are asking for this weekly rate all of a sudden do not want to pay, or they quit in like a month, and then we went through all of this. But while we're transitioning, using the staff we have, and then start looking for the part-timers. So kind of use what we have, see how it goes at first couple weeks, and then, does everybody follow me? And then like get part-time permanent help. Like I said, I'm just worried about going through all this, and then the one group that's, requesting this doesn't continue, and then we went through all of this.
I'm getting
Yeah.
calls every day.
I know they're really serious. I'm not
Trying to
saying
be
they're
responsive
not,
to our
but I just wanna-
residents.
And I would recommend, I mean, and I would recommend, have them call the administration, have them call me.
I certainly will.
Have them call me. And then we can I can talk
Appreciate
them through
that.
the process and then, and talk about what we need to go through and make sure that with regard to whatever change, and that's for any entity requesting our services, because we certainly have had people who we've had to turn away because of availability. So now that this board is rethinking and kind of opening up opportunities, again, we want to make sure that we have a product that we can deliver on with fidelity to the people who want to make an investment in doing so.
I'm glad we're upgrading our fees regardless, so.
We all want this to work. We want to get this right.
Sure.
But I agree with
I
Dr.
think that's the
Garabay.
point.
We want to put out a product and do it well. So.
If you spend a little extra time developing the infrastructure, make sure your controls are in place, have a sound lease agreement, please collect a security deposit, have everything nice and square, ready to go, the business will come. But you have to set the groundwork. Don't just jump into something because you have something live. We'll make sure we'll keep them in tune. Let's just move forward with proper infrastructure. We can do that if we use proper use of time.
Okay. Yep, I agree.
Thank you, Doc.
All right. Is there anything else that we're covering, Mr. Walsh?
No, that's it.
That pretty much concludes your buildings and grounds? Okay. All righty. We're going to move into communications.
I'm sorry, just calling out number 4, that we're going to be expanding the security cameras, as it was in the conversation that we had, that we'll be seeing. Yep, go ahead, absolutely.
The NJ BOE, Department of Education, do a security audit of our schools, and they recommended 8 cameras, I believe, installed for enhancing the security posture of our schools, protecting our kids. I don't want to wait on haggling over prices and delaying the camera installation. I think it should be done right away. It was recommended by the state, it's recommended by our police department and our school safety monitors. There we go.
Oh my God, again? What is going on over there? Are there batteries on the table or no? Oh,
I apologize to the public for not hearing me too well.
that's okay.
It's been recommended by our police department, our school safety monitors, and Department of Education install 8 additional cameras to enhance the security of our students and teacher population. I'm recommended as from the building and grounds that we immediately install those cameras.
Is it all 3 schools?
I believe it's all 3 schools. 3,
Three
particularly
campuses?
Cedar Drive.
Select areas.
Right, yep.
Select areas.
Vince probably could give you a better explanation, or doctor.
Yeah, we usually don't, like, it was recommendations for exterior and some interior, so we usually don't discuss specifics of that, but, in public and stuff like that, so, but identified areas that throughout the audit. that
We
were
need the
just
cameras.
Better angles of things.
Yep.
I think the board supports the use of those funds to go to that project. I can't see anybody voting that down, Mr. Walsh. Anybody have comments on that? Anybody? No? All right. Thank you, Mr. Ignata, for fixing that. We're going to go right into communications at this time. Mr. Scarpa.
Well, I'm going to assume we're going to have additional communication after our meeting on November 12th, 13th. I'm sorry? Okay, after our meeting on 12th, and then we will continue to see if we have the opportunity to visit the weapons station. But we do plan on having a formal press release about this remarkable achievement, and we're going to celebrate it in all 3 schools and make sure that it has its designated wall space. I'll leave that to Dr. Garabay to provide additional details. I don't have anything specific on the ESIP project actually, we do. I think the communication did go out. We did dig into that. So, Dr. Garabay.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Scarpa. That basically, we have been approached by DCO to do what they referred to of bringing almost like a celebration, a project celebration, into the schools. That they wanted to bring interns of some of their this is DCO, to showcase all the work that's been done, marketing folks to take photos, videos, of course, and then including people from the staff, the district, students, and a brief presentation on the projects, quick tour of the facilities, highlights, making it more of a very public celebration. So more to be when we get more information about that, we'll share it with the board.
To the Department of Energy, maybe, the Trump administration? Come on by and check out what we've done. Might be worth a shot.
Okay, sorry. So we're done with communications. I'm sorry, I was reading something. All right, we're going to move right into curriculum. We have quite a few points under there. Is Mrs. Camera still on?
Yes.
Okay. Mrs. Camera, if you wanted to start the curriculum
Sure.
work session. Yep.
Okay, number 1 is 2025 Veterans Day programs in the Colts Neck Township schools. So Veterans Day will be celebrated across all 3 schools. The Conover Road Primary School and Elementary School will have a joint assembly on Thursday, November 20th at 9:30 at the primary school. That will include special student performances, the Colts Neck High School JROTC program, Naval Weapons Station Earl Commanding Officer Captain Smith. And then the middle school will host its annual Colts Neck Community Veterans Day program in partnership with the Women's Club of Colts Neck and Colts Neck Recreation on Tuesday, November 11th at 11 a.m. Students in grades 6 to 8 at the middle school will send letters of thanks and appreciation to Colts Neck veterans. Staff receive a list from the Colts Neck Community Recreation Organization, and Earl sends us an active duty list to ensure that we communicate to all veterans. So I actually want to thank President Volpe for extending the invitation to all Board of Ed members. If any Board of Ed members are interested in attending either or both programs, just reach out to Dr. Garabay. Okay, any comments on number 1?
Wait, Mr. Scales wants to have the
I was
floor.
just going to say no.
Oh, okay, sorry. No, you could continue, Mrs. Camera.
Okay. Number 2 is just a reminder that at the November 19th, 2025 RAM meeting, we will have, the district will be recognizing, the administration especially will be recognizing and celebrating students who earn perfect scores. That's at 850 on the 2025 NJSLA. So from grades 3 to 8, there were a total of 12 perfect scores on either math, ELA, or both. And as a member of this Board of Education, this is one of my greatest privileges, is honoring and celebrating the achievements of our students, and I feel like I can speak for all of us with that. Okay, any comments on number 2?
No, great idea.
Nothing.
Okay. All right, moving on to number 3. This is something new. It's the library standards pilot. So what it is, it's New Jersey's rolling out new information literacy student learning standards. And these standards help students learn how to find, evaluate, and use information effectively and responsibility. So the New Jersey State Library, NJSL, received a grant to help schools and librarians prepare for these new standards through a project called Teaching Information Literacy. So what's happening in Colts Neck is that Susan Frick, that's the district's pre-K through 5th grade media specialist, will pilot, she'll test out one of the 4 pillars of the information literacy with a specific grade level between January and March of 2026. Her pilot will help determine how these lessons and activities can be best incorporated into classrooms. And as she participates, updates will be shared with the Board of Education on what's being learned and how it may shape the district's future library and media curriculum. So, just in short, the way the pilot works, there's many teachers and librarians across New Jersey who can join online training modules and optional live workshops to learn about the standards. And pilot schools like us get to try out these lessons developed for different grade levels. And the feedback from these pilot classrooms will be used to refine the final learning activities before full statewide implementation. Okay, so that's any comments on the pilot program?
Nobody.
Okay. Number 4, this is on, I believe, our district website. It's the Monmouth 250 semi-quincentennial, is that how you say it?
Quincentennial.
Okay.
Quincentennial.
Thank you.
Semi-quincentennial.
Quincentennial, thank you. I knew something sounded right. Wrong. So there's a poetry contest. It's open for grades 3 to 5. Prompt, what is America to me? There's an essay contest for grades 6 to 8. The prompt is, what does patriotism mean to me? Entries are being accepted for both contests for Monmouth County students. This is all part of celebrating the upcoming 250th birthday. And the contest is hosted by the Monmouth, New Jersey 250 committee. And the deadlines are coming up. Our students only have till November 14th if they're interested. Information's also posted on the website, correct? Dr. Garibay?
Correct.
Perfect. Okay, so if parents are interested, students are interested, that's where you can read and get more information. Any other comments?
Just one for me, are we going to award a Colts Neck winner
We
for this?
haven't, the entries are sent right to the county.
Yeah.
We have not done that. We have not made that
Okay.
determination to do that. Yeah.
Okay.
So
I was just curious.
it's not, in other words, it's not Colts Neck wins and then we send the winner. Everybody's able to enter.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
Right, they'll pick the winner.
Because I'm thinking myself, whatever, let's just say we only get a few. I don't think the county and our town's doing enough to celebrate 250. So if you think about from a Board of Ed perspective, we've got one of the oldest schools in New Jersey that's right down the street, right? So my vision's wild idea, but my vision to celebrate for us is to have a board meeting in that school, and then you can have the children read these poetries and these essays to us so we can do our own celebration. So I just don't know
Well,
if the children are understanding what's occurring. This is a big milestone for democracy, so.
Well, if you want to,
Things
I'm
to
sorry,
think
go ahead.
about.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
So just to couple on that, and to add on to that, so as an administrative team, we're planning things. So in other words, almost leading up to it. So we want to certainly recognize that it is, as you said, a milestone. I definitely recognize your suggestion. There are no lavatories at Montreux. I just want to make sure you recognize that. There are no
My
for
idea is to rough it like they did 250
So,
years ago.
but certainly we're going to be putting together, in addition to things, and I know that Mrs. Camera had reached out to the township, right, Mrs. Camera, with regard to saying how can we partner, what can we do, and that type of thing. So I think we're still looking at different ideas, even, red, white, and blue days, flag days coming up in June, big celebrations like that.
Perfect.
Exactly.
Awesome. Thanks for listening to me.
Of course.
Right, I was gonna say that part for new business.
I'm sorry.
I'll mention it now. So tomorrow, the committee, I'm on the 250th committee for the town. They are having their first meeting, and it is for me to then bring back information to Dr. Garibay and to the board about what we can specifically do in the schools. So it is happening, Rob. It's just you're like a few steps ahead.
Nice, okay.
It will be happening.
Naturally. Thank you.
Okay, anyone else with, number 4?
No, we're good, thank you.
Okay, number 5 is civics. So during a previous, Board of Education meeting, Vinny asked about, how the district incorporates civics into the curriculum, highlighting, again, of course, it's importance for our students. So if you looked at Dr. Garabay's recent, superintendent's update, Dr. Reynolds and Dr. Garabay prepared grade level list from Rubicon, and that's the district's curriculum warehouse, showing where the civic standards are included in grades K to 8. So the list can be found in the superintendent's report. I wasn't going to go into detail about it because all board members have the update and it was in there. Is that enough for everyone, or is there any more information anyone wants on that one?
Mr. Regnetta, do you want to respond? Hold on, Phil.
I'm going to look into it more, and then at the next
Okay.
CAL meeting, we'll discuss more if I think there needs to be more added to it. But I'm going to look into
Okay, that's fine. Yep, we'll look forward to your
Did you
review.
get a chance to look at the list? Because it was pretty.
I haven't yet with the big weekend with Halloween and my son's hockey this past weekend, so I haven't got a chance to look at it yet, but I will.
Okay, right, so the link's there under curriculum, so you'll be able to find it in Dr. Garabay's October 29th update, but I'm sure she'll just probably roll it over.
Yep, thank you.
Okay. So the last thing is something we want to discuss if we're going to continue or not. So it's called PASS. It's the Pupil Attitudes to Self and School. It's a digital survey. So the PASS survey, it helps gauge students' attitudes toward learning and school. I personally would like to discontinue it. Some of my concerns are that there's a lack of statistical validation in a U.S. context, so the data doesn't clearly drive improvement. There could be some, misinterpretation of the data. There's some privacy risks with collecting sensitive information digitally. There are concerns about privacy. This is our students' emotional or psychological data that's being collected and stored by a third-party vendor. Again, sensitive information about the validity, the usefulness. The cost of the survey is $9,000 annually for the 3 schools, which is, significant relative to the measurable benefits. And again, it does take time away from other instruction or academic priorities. So at this point, I would like to have a discussion on the board's feelings about this, and obviously Dr. Garabay's feelings. And so I'd like to now open it up for discussion. That was just, my information.
So Phyllis, thank you very much for presenting that. I have a question. So in 3 years, we have about 1,100 participants across 3 schools. We spend $27,000 on this survey over the course 3 times 3. What have we learned? Because I'm looking at here a pretty general Qualtrics survey. And have we learned anything that has impacted a change for the better for the program?
For what program? The overall instructional program?
The overall instructional program,
Sure.
yeah.
So when we're looking at it through the lens of, this is a screener in terms of what we're looking at. So this is a screener. It is a tool that we use for exactly for the purposes of it. It has a 2-part, there's multiple facets to it. It is, as you said, it is while the questions, and I think I shared this before, we can't distribute them. We can share them with the board for proprietary reasons. With regards to security, I just want to back up to something that with what Mrs. Cameron just referenced. I can provide, we use Renaissance as the provider through this, and they have all of their internet cybersecurity, including
Yeah, where they're
encryption
storing the
information.
servers and all
Sure,
that
and I
stuff.
can share that with
Yeah,
the
yeah.
board in
Thank
this
you.
week's update. That's fine, we can do that.
Yep.
What have we learned? We use this for whole child approach to learning. That's what we use it for. In terms of when we do know that when students feel connected, when they feel like they're valued learners, when they feel like they can be successful, when they feel like they have friends, there is research that is out there that says that they are more successful academically. Schools like Rumson do already use an SEL type of screener similar to that. As a matter of fact, they just put something out that that they're looking for a new one. They don't use this one. They're looking for a new one. Because when you're looking at, it is, while we do focus and our core business is on academics, we know that when students feel connected, they are more likely to be successful in their schools. And connected from how they perceive themselves as a learner, do they perceive themselves as being able to speak for themselves, do they, all of those types of things. So from the screener for participation, we've set up internally, which is a model that we continue to see benefits from on individual levels. And I mean that sincerely when I say that. It is individual successes, students that do have trouble, may have trouble making friends, may have trouble finding their voice and advocating for themselves, all of the things that fall into the tiers of the SEL competencies that are required by, that are encouraged by the State Department of Education, that we look to develop those soft skills that are, that come and feed into executive functioning skills and all the things like that, so that we're providing them with those opportunities for, as I said, in terms of, on this paper, I'm sorry, excuse me, for the self-awareness, the self-management, the social awareness, relationship and skills, all of those types of things that go into that. So it's not just about the survey. This is, as it's mentioned in the consent form, we do this twice a year. There's a fall and a spring where we do progress monitor of growth of the students and where they're performing and where they fall on the results of the data. So having said that, we do look at it through a lens of a picture it like a pyramid. We have whole school initiatives that we do for those types of things, school-wide meetings, philanthropic activities where we have a community type approach to things. Depending upon where students fall, they will be recommended for small group types of a support system, where we talk about social skills, we talk about communication, we talk about all of those self-awareness. That's something that's lost sometimes as students are developing. So giving them those skills, and then to another level, depending upon the need or where a student falls, if we fall to on another level, same way we would do academically with individual if needed. Again, all through parent communication and consent. So that's the one piece of it, and if you look at it just through a lens of SEL. In my update last week, I did look at it through the lens of nationally recognized threat assessment procedures. At a federal level, where they talk about, do kids, and while they always want to be cautious with regards to what we are looking at, they do emphasize a multi-pronged approach to knowing your students and making sure they feel connected, making those types of efforts to say, from a security point of view, because these days bad things and horrible things happen in schools. And it's often a disconnected individual from schools that feel that way, that often take some type of action against the school, violent action against the school. And I provided that information that was at the federal level from a threat assessment. So it's not just about this. There's a reason, so we can say, what are we working with a child that, we do a lot of security measures that are responsive, right? We have a lot of things, we have our SLEOs, we have things in place that respond to threats, that respond to violent acts. What are we doing to support them from ever happening? We have to be reflective on that, and this is one of those things that I truly believe helps us in knowing our students, knowing what their needs are, without being intrusive, because as you see, I did provide samples of the questions, that they don't go into a deep dive of that, but it does allow them to say, how do you feel about your schools? How do you feel about yourself as a learner? Do you see yourself as a successful learner? How many times have we heard people in our lives going through and say, I'm not good at math? Getting that narrowed out, was hearing that and seeing that. So I think that's just something that we make ourselves aware of, and it helps and it supports the whole child's growth that we look for in our school.
So that's fantastic. Thank you for this detail. It just sounds like it's a bit duplicative to what the teachers are doing on a daily basis, especially with the parent-teacher conferences. So in the eyes of a parent, we're going to ask our children, I like using my brain. Learning is difficult. I find schoolwork too difficult for me. These are very subjective questions, largely depending upon the mood of a third grader. So if a third grader is going to ask this, I like using my brain, my son is going to say no on a Monday and probably yes on a Thursday. So my concern is here, if it's issued twice a year, obviously there's a latency in the results coming out. How effective can we actually possibly change a curriculum program, based upon a survey that is probably already stale by the time the results come out? how fast can curriculum can change. Don't forget, this is just, they're they're asking 55 questions here, whatever it comes down to, 50. And then you have to aggregate that all in. I'm just struggling to see, are all these questions fair? Yes. Do I think they're duplicative to the daily basis of a teacher? Absolutely. I just feel like it just provides another data point to something they already know, and I don't see the real value. I know the questions have value, but I know that these questions are already being covered in other areas. And to be fair, these kids are not going to respond accurately on some of these things. I try to do my best in class. Most are going to say yes to that. I mean, I just...
I get into trouble during recess or
struggling
lunch.
with this. I'm struggling to see the value proposition. That's only my opinion.
I want to, I'm sorry. Do you want to go? Okay. I want to just make a brief comment. I don't want to carry on about this. I spoke privately with Dr. Garby. She knows the direction I want to take with this. I want it removed from the district. I think it's pointless. All the questions here, no disrespect for you, but I'm who I am, and I say it how it is. Half of these questions, if I asked my daughter, she'd be basically confined to a nut house, okay? I would ask her half of these things about how she feels one day when I punish her or I take something away. She'd come into school miserable, angry, and I know exactly how she would answer this. Does that mean my daughter needs to be flagged, that she has some type of mental issue? The district, by applying this, is just creating problems that don't exist. That is my opinion. You guys all have the right to speak the way you want, but I think this should be removed. It's a waste of money, and I don't approve of it. So I'll let the board decide whatever they want. We'll make the decision today, and we'll move on.
I agree with,
President, a few more things.
yeah, go ahead.
I think Vinny.
Is that okay?
I'm sorry, Mrs. Cameron, could you let Mr. Agneta?
I just have one quick comment. If you look at number 25, I'm not good at solving problems, and then one of the answers is no, not at all. That provides a double negative there, so that's really confusing for kids.
Yes.
If they're saying no, because no, not at all. No, I'm not good at solving problems. Yes, I am good at solving problems. That's kind of confusing, especially for a third grader. So, but I'm on board with you guys, just getting rid of it. So.
Yeah, it's $9,000. Kids, every time our children come into this school, every minute is valued, and it's an opportunity to have them learn what we're paying the district to teach them. Not about their feelings. That's my job, to teach my kid about how they feel, whether they not have friends, whether they feel they're good learners. I just feel this is unacceptable. It shouldn't even be in here, to be honest with you. But like I said, I discussed this privately with Dr. Garibay. She knows my feelings. Out of respect, she wanted to present it to the board. I thought it was
Thank you.
appropriate to give her the opportunity to do so, but I warned her that this board does not support it. So I'm going to leave it at that. If you want to make any final comments, we can move on.
No, just, oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry, Mrs.
And then I got
Camera,
one.
I ran you over. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Oh, it's okay. I also just want to remind the board that we have 4 experienced school counselors that are serving 3 schools. So our professionals, our school counselors, they know our students, they build relationships with our students, they identify those students who need support through, daily interaction and real life data. So I think that's really important. And one particular that we just added last year is to teach our students SEL specific lessons with a curriculum. I also want to remind the board that our new Being a Writer program and last year's Being a Writer curriculum, they have at the very end, they have a very strong social emotional learning component that is embedded into the academic time, and it fosters empathy and self-awareness and collaboration as part of the daily instruction. So I don't, again, that's why I think we have covered this, and I do agree with Angelique that it's a lot of money, and I don't think this data, I think as Mr. Scarpa said too, the data changes based on the child's morning that day, and I just really feel strongly that our counselors' time and our other district resources, including our new curriculums, are much better directed toward our students and using evidence-based programs like we just added to the curriculum.
I just add, I know our teachers, we have great teachers, and I think they really know our students well. And they would, if they identified any issue, would certainly come to the attention of our counselors and administration. Have total faith in our school teachers for recognizing the talent in our children and any issues that they have in the classroom. So I don't think we should be doing this as well. I think some of these questions are just really invasive for small kids.
Yes.
Am I smart? What if the kid isn't smart? How's that going to make the kid feel? He actually has to check off, yes or no. So again, Dr. Garabay, I do respect your reasoning for keeping this. I do understand it, but as a parent, I think we should know our children. Our teachers should know our children, and this is, I feel, not really needed going in the future. To discontinue it.
All right, anybody else, final comments? I don't
No,
want...
same thing. I just wanted to
Okay.
tie it back to Alicia's comments from communications. There's parents in the district that share our sentiment. Again, I think exactly to your comments, I think everyone's hitting the nail on the head. Our teachers, our district cares about our children, but something like this, it's overreach, and it's just not necessary. But we do appreciate the intent of it. It's just unfortunately it has unintended consequences. God forbid there was a catastrophic breach of data, things of that nature. So those are just things we need to be mindful of, like collecting unnecessary data. But to your point, Mr. Scarpa, like how are we applying it? What are we learning from it? And it's $9,000. Like, you hate to say this, but in the tech and software world, you've seen how the test is administrated already. So we wouldn't have to pay that another year. Let's just say this was state mandated, we'd be able to just administer it ourselves without having to pay $9,000, right? So that's kind of, there's so many red flags versus positive, so that's all.
Okay, anybody else? Final comment? Final comment? Okay, Mrs. Camera, you finished?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, I'm sorry, I want to make sure that you get the final word, whatever you...
No, that's everything for number 6, so if
Okay.
you're ready, we can take a vote if you feel comfortable.
I think it speaks for itself. We're discontinuing, we will not, we are not going to render this to our students this year. It'll be pulled.
So what we'll do,
Yes.
so what we'll do then is we'll communicate, because we did seek consent, and that's on there, so we will send a follow-up message next week. The district is closed tomorrow and Friday. We'll send that
Oh,
we will be
yeah, that's
discontinuing
correct. Okay.
the practice. of
Okay.
it.
All right, and yes, and we can use that time that was set aside for this to actually teaching our kids. Okay, we're moving on to finance. Mr. Arico, do you want to touch base on those few items?
Yeah, so the vandalism, establishing fees for damages specifically for Chromebooks, whatever it costs, whether it's an accident or not, we are going to put the cost on the parents. We have policy 7610 under vandalism, and then regulation 7610 under vandalism as well. Any vandalism done to the school, any vandalism done to the Chromebooks, any vandalism done inside, outside, or any type of school property will now be the financial responsibility of the parents, whether it's an accident or not. It's been tens of thousands of dollars. I think if we added it all up over the years, it's probably over a couple million. And that's real money. And that's not money that should be spread around to taxpayers and parents who are responsible for school property. All right, and to health benefits change, Vince, you can, or Ms. Garabay, you can go over that, but we're moving on January 1st, 2026 to a self-insured model with health plans with the Cigna network. There was a meeting, I believe it was on Monday, with the administrators of that network, our broker, and I heard everything went pretty well, pretty smooth on that.
They were in all 4 buildings. They met here, they met that, and staff are receiving their comparative data, their enrollments. We have open enrollment going on right now, so that we are up and set doing that. Every collective bargaining group within the district will get their equal to or better to letter.
Yes.
With regards to the comparisons and whatnot.
Yes.
So I think that's where we are going. We are meeting with some RAS team from Alliant. HPI is the third-party administrator of the policy, I guess you would say. They were also on scene here. So we're moving in that direction to we'll be in ready. And just noting, we put in the update as well that vision and dental remain the same with Horizon.
That's
until that
correct.
renewal is there.
That's correct. And once we make this switch, the realized savings should, at the very least, be around 280,000 and change for the year. That's yet to be determined come January 1st.
I want to take this time to thank Jason and Rico for putting in the time. That's a lot of time, a lot of work, a lot of research to get a very significant savings. Any savings is a savings, and that's a significant savings. So thank you, Jason, for being diligent about it and not giving up. It's a quality that I know this board admires, so we appreciate that.
Thank
Right,
you.
thank you, Jason.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I just want to go
thank
back to
you.
one more thing on vandalism, if you don't forget. I know that we originally discussed that the fees associated with the technology fees. So if we intend to still keep a technology fee in place for the time being, that's okay. But if we can consider perhaps revisiting it after we get the message out there and perhaps some retribution from offenders to help lessen the cost, there might be. I want to make sure that we still have it on agenda. You know, this originally was born out of revisiting the technology fees, the $50 technology fees. And also from a point of messaging, I have heard from students, some students believe that the laptops cost $50. So they say, oh, it's only $50, and these kids have the audacity to say that, but they do.
Yeah.
So they think by them damaging, they're actually damaging a small toy. I think they don't appreciate the fact that it's not $50, it costs a lot more, and that it's on loan to them through their parents for a technology fee. So if we continue to administer technology fees, I think the messaging needs to be tight and remind the students that this is, to your point, school property, and that the
School property.
violations will be more severe if the damage is incurred. So something to take the messaging before those laptops go out, and perhaps if we can revisit the technology fee after we've gotten some money from vandalism, would be appreciated.
Yeah. And one quick example, when the student liaisons were up here and the one child asked for the dividers between the urinals, we did that. It cost a district north of $12,000. I learned that those dividers were ripped off the walls, broken in half, and peed on by students in this district. That is something that is completely and utterly reprehensible. We listened, we spent money, and that's what happens? No. And it's upsetting that I wish things like these would be brought to my attention, because I really want to be a part of what happens with that decision-making going forward with the vandalism, simply because I want to be involved, because those kids that were involved, the parents need to pay for that. And if they don't want to pay for that, then those don't get put back up. And when the student liaisons come back up here again and they ask why, we can tell them why, right? Because I'm not going to sit here and listen to suggestions and go forward with those suggestions, have taxpayer money spent on those suggestions, and then have vandalism like that happen, and now what? It's going to cost us another $12,000 to put those back up or more. Now we're talking about $24,000. That is terrible.
I definitely respect your remarks, and I understand your frustration. I, too, was angry to hear that. From my meeting today with Dr. Garibay, Mr. Moretta had rectified it, had repaired it, and it didn't cost us any further cost, because Mr. Moretta, out of the kindness of his heart, he's very handy, he fixed it. From that time when that happened, there was no more future vandalism occurred with that particular item, correct?
I want to say with certainty, I will double check, but
Okay, that's fine. All right, I just want to make sure. So we're hopeful that that has ceased. My question to you, well, my statement to you is, yes, I do understand your frustration, but I don't think it's fair to penalize all the liaisons, even though that was unacceptable. I'm not degrading your comment in any way, shape, or form, but some of these kids that do come up, they have no idea what happened, and I'm sure that if they did, they would probably be disgusted as well as we are. So,
Absolutely, and I understand that, and I'm not, you know, I'm not saying anything negative about the student liaisons. I'm just saying,
Yeah, no, I know
we
you're not. I
take
know
their
you're not.
comments into serious consideration, and that serious consideration turns into serious money for this district.
Mm-hmm.
And for something like that to happen, now it's gonna give me pause.
Yeah, I
You're just
understand,
searching
I
for
respect that, but.
accountability.
Yeah,
The other thing is, like, you know, I don't know,
There needs to be accountability.
yeah, I don't know the whole story of how it happened and the investigative aspect of it, if the school found out who it was. I really don't know that, and Dr. Garber, I'm sure, you know, if we requested, she could look into it with Dr. Rigby, and we could get to the bottom of this. But like going forward, I understand this is one incident. I certainly don't want to hurt the liaison program, but once again, we are directing the liaisons that we don't have to spend money to make significant, a memorable change with their positions, you know what I mean? Me and Brian sat with them, they're discussing how to improve the Chromebook vandalism, how to go about, you know, the food, the cafeteria structure we have. So it's not always gonna cost us money, but I absolutely respect your position. It's very frustrating, but I hope going forward, we'll get a grip on vandalism and that will not occur again, so.
You're here.
But I do appreciate your comments on it. All right, anybody else want to add to that? All right, if not, we're going to try to get right into policy, and then don't forget, we have an executive session tonight. So, yeah, go ahead,
Time to
Mr. Scale.
No, I think, well, topic one, parental bill of rights, I mean, it's like I had a crystal ball, honestly. It is like I had a crystal ball. And I'll give you the exact moment when I thought about bringing up the parental bill of rights is when I heard our new governor-elect, Mikey Sherrill, talk about her forcing the LGBT curriculum on our students in every district in the state of New Jersey. My intentions with the parental bill of rights and the parents that have voted us all in, we've received feedback from almost everyone. We have had countless meetings with administrative, countless meetings with our parental advisory committee. We have heard great feedback, and honestly, the feedback's been overwhelming, and I love it because it is a collective agreement that parental rights is, it's given from the Lord, to be honest with you, right? The parental bill of rights is given by God, right? And what we do and how we founded our Constitution is we take those rights and we put them down on paper so everyone can see what those rights are. So some of the questions we got are we changing anything? And Sarah, you've mentioned that as well. The short answer is no, we are not changing anything. What this will do, and we are now seeing it in real and live time, is it'll expose who is removing that right from you as a parent, right? So to go back to everything, we are not changing anything. We are simply putting the rights down on paper as a summary for every parent to see, from every teacher to see, from every administrator. Now we have a single source of truth of what that right is. What it will expose is it'll expose the party that is accountable for removing that right from a parent. Now, I'll go back to my original comments, this LGBTQ that our new governor-elect would like to force onto the schools. The way that it says it right now, and what we are highlighting as the parental right, is that you have the ability to opt out of that. As a parent, you have the right to opt your child out of that curriculum, right? But what is going to happen is that she and her administration will now go in and try to force the removal of that right. Now, we are binded by law, and all of us are law-abiding citizens, and we've been elected to protect the Constitution and laws of the United States. So what we have to do by law, we have to do. But what it will do in the court of public opinion is expose who is removing that right from you as a parent. So again, we are not changing anything. This is simply going to be a summary. We've taken great feedback, and we have listed how to get to the exact policy that's referenced in that particular area, and now we have a steadfast foundation that we can operate on and always reference if there is any change to any type of curriculum, any change to any rights or any laws or anything. It is a living and breathing document that will remain. So that's my sort of soapbox, if you will. But again, you're seeing it in real time. So I don't know if anyone has any questions on that, but I think Sarah, Dr. Garabay, President Volpe, you guys have done a fantastic job leading the Parental Advisory Committee with their feedback, and I think we've addressed everything that they have wanted us to address. Correct.
I do want to make a comment, Mr. Scales. I'm glad this is kind of winding down, coming to an end. I do want to reiterate your comments that we did incorporate thousands, it feels like thousands, maybe hundreds of hours of feedback and comments, questions, opposition, all of that. I'm very confident in the document. I'm confident in our legal team. Like I said, we repeated a few times that they reviewed it several times. The document is sound, and I know we had a request about going to a third party. I will not seek a third legal opinion. We hired our attorneys to represent us, and I'm completely confident in this law group to do so. So I will expect the full second read, the adoption or whatever, on the 19th, and it will be passed as is. Thank you. Go number two.
Great.
I said,
No, please.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm
Yes.
so
Yes.
sorry.
okay, it's okay.
I'm sorry. I know.
It's all right.
We're behind.
Long
We're
night.
behind.
We're a little
Long night.
behind. Yep, 8:36.
No, please, Vinny,
Yep.
please.
So everyone knows that we have the specific opt-out for healthcare and SEL. So for parents listening tonight, especially after what happened with the election outcome last night, and it's being brought to attention on social media now, in a spotlight today, regarding social studies and LGBTQ historical characters and historical events comparing to LGBTQ in social studies. How would for people listening, how would the parental rights pertain to that, or do we need to do a specific opt-out for that? And if Dr. Garrick can answer that, would teachers be able to, before those lessons are being taught, be able to notify parents about that? And how is that put into the curriculum weaved in? So, Rob, if you want to answer the first part.
No, I'll let you go first, and then I'll explain. I mean, it's addressed in a section in the Parental Bill of Rights. So.
So we actually, and one of the things I actually just sent to Ms. Miller, I pulled it up as we were talking, is that we received guidance from the DOE today about the difference with regards to opting out and working closely with board counsel for different opt-out opportunities as a result that transferred from something that we talked about here previously with the result of the Muhammad in Texas that they were following with regard to opt-outs. So the one thing that they're talking about is work very closely with your board counsel with regards to how you want to do that while still maintaining the standard of having to offer it in the instructional programming and curriculum. So more to come on that once we have guidance from that and how it would be for that.
Yeah, no, it's addressed in there. It shows you what the right is as a parent. You have the right to opt out, right? The Supreme Court has addressed it. And that's the thing, is what will happen is, again, law is open for interpretation. That's the whole point. That's why, some of the feedback that things in the Parental Bill of Rights are too vague, it's intentional, because law is vague. The Constitution is vague. It's up for interpretation. But we will always reference the law at that time. It's a living and breathing document. So we have the right to opt out, and then if they disagree with that, then they would have to challenge it legally.
Dr. Garabay, in the Rubicon, do parents know when those lessons are coming up, or teachers, do they notify parents when those lessons are coming up yet? When those particular social studies lessons are coming up, with those particular.
In the social studies lessons for that, currently not. It's not the practice because we do it for health and for what we've been doing this for SEL and health is where we've identified it.
Okay.
So now we're looking at different things. This is a new
Right.
type of thing that we're looking at, so we have to kind of approach it. And we have a system in place already, so we have to now look at it through different of applying as well.
Sure. All right.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Referencing, I mean, it's slick. Think about it. They're trying to push the agenda
Sure.
in a
Sure,
different
absolutely.
facet of education, which is we will not
And again, we're looking into, I think you said before, but just to clarify, you're looking into if legally we can also do an opt-out for those social studies lessons as well, too. Is that something we could look into?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's one of the things that we're looking at. We just received guidance, I think,
Okay.
a little clarification that says we have to work very closely with, our board
Attorney.
attorney and the laws in developing local policies and practices.
Thank you.
All right.
Cool.
Anything else?
No, that's it. It's on number one. Number two, again, we have that, that's being reviewed. I don't know if anyone has any questions on either of these, but we'll defer to Dr. Gabay.
Very quickly, the earned sick leave law went into effect in 2018. We have policies from 2019. We are receiving some communications and reviewing some of our practices and stuff that I can update the board on. Procedurally, regarding tracking, basically the earned sick leave law is that there's which I will continue to provide information on in my updates, for people who are not entitled to paid sick time as per contracts, or their collective bargaining agreements, whichever the case may be, for every 30 hours work, they earn 1 hour of sick time. So where we look at that, specifically school security monitors, leave replacements, long-term contractual leave replacements. So we are looking at it now through lens, and our attorney is looking at things through the lens of daily substitutes who are not necessarily categorized as employees, and looking at it through that lens. Entitlement, because they are technically at-will employees, intermittent, daily substitutes who take jobs like through our phone system, as we had talked about with substitutes before, have the ability to work in multiple districts. They're not beholden to one district, and so on. So we're getting a little bit more clarity and legal guidance on the application of the law as it refers to daily subs, intermittent subs. We're also improving our practices with regards to communication outreach to our staff about this. So that's just an update, just to stay tuned.
And Dr. Garber, question for my own edification. If a participant is on an LOA, do they have a right, do they accumulate sick time?
Do they accumulate, you mean a current staff member?
Current staff member on a 6-month LOA.
They're usually applying their contractual sick time of what they already have. So they don't earn it in terms of
So when they're out, they don't earn additional sick time?
a staff member, like a contracted 10-month or 12-month employee.
Yes.
They're given their contractual allotment, the new one, every July 1st or whenever retroactively. It's usually amended, retro, or whatever the case may be, depending upon their start day. So if it's, they're not earning as they go along. It's contractual as of the first of the year, and then they use it as they have. Sick time is carried over for our employees. This is different for the earning. The earning piece of it is for ones that don't have paid sick leave or PTO, sick days, personal days, however it's
I
determined
understand. Okay.
in the contract. These are people who don't have that entitlement as part of a collective bargaining unit.
Thank you.
Good?
Or contract, I should say, or contract.
And number three, you can move into that. I'm assuming no news is good news?
Number three, we are still moving along with the
Nice,
policy
okay,
manual
perfect.
transition. Still moving, it's not a forgotten, we paused and we're doing work on the parental bill of rights.
Yep.
But at the school board's workshop, they did make an announcement that certain elements of the policy manual are now going to become free for everyone.
So
It
weird.
is currently a service that we have. So I'm speaking with our representative, I'll be speaking next week. We do have to spend time learning a new system and onboarding all of our policies into board docs. Once
Yep.
that's done, I'll help to facilitate some board navigation and training in that as well. And so we'll keep moving forward. I do have a goal for myself for January to try to move things along and have the board basically and I'll speak with Mr. Scales about this, do a mass adoption.
Yep.
And then we can revise. There are some things that we do want to front load with input from the administration. I'll probably look to identify those policies at the December COW in January and say, like, listen, these were the ones that school boards gave us. Here's the correlations. Here's language we're asking for based on what our
Yep.
current policies are. Move them forward and then move accordingly along from there.
Yep. Yeah, I'm interested to see what they want to give for free.
Yeah.
Like, it's odd to me. Like, oh, no, don't worry about this is free. You can use these policies, but got to go through those.
Right.
Right? What's in there? That's the scary part to me, but great, yeah, so I think, yeah, moving along. And the number 4, annual technology usage fee, kind of talked about that throughout the thing, so we're good to go. I don't know if anyone has any questions, but all these policies, even though they're a little bit older, I still think they're pretty up to date from how we go. So, good guardrails. That's just my position on all of them. So, that's it for me, if no one has any other questions.
Great, excellent. Yeah, thank you.
No problem.
Thank you.
Happy to.
All right, we have nothing under transportation this evening, some items under personnel. I don't know if you want to make some comments on those?
Nope, just looking for it.
Okay.
Those are just heads up for the 19th.
All right, that's fine. Moving right into our second comment section of the evening. If anybody likes to get up, make a comment, okay. Nobody at this time would like to do that, so we'll close public comment. I know maybe some of you had some new business tonight. I'd like to open the floor to you first. Oops, I hear Phyllis. We'll give Mrs. Camera the floor.
Okay, this was in Dr. Garaby's weekly update. It's the opportunity to provide input on school funding. So I just want to explain what's going on, and I want to let the board know I filled out the survey, and I'm encouraging everyone to do it. So the New Jersey Department of Education is reviewing how public schools are funded in the state. And this review is part of the fiscal year 2026 state budget. So the state is looking at the current funding policies, which we have criticized numerous times, and they're considering possible changes. And this is true in areas of special education, transportation, how districts' wealth levels affect state aid. So why this is really important, it's really a rare chance for local boards of education and the public, this survey is open to all residents, to share their opinions about how New Jersey funds its schools under the School Funding Reform Act. The Department of Education, they want feedback before making recommendations to the State Board of Education. So anyone, any parent, any resident, taxpayer, anyone can complete the survey online, and it covers 6 key funding areas. How district wealth is used to calculate state aid, limits on how much aid can change each year, flexibility with tax levy growth limits, how transportation aid is calculated, how special education formula aid is determined, and the reimbursement for the high cost of special education cases. So the deadline for survey and comments is November 14th. If possible, Dr. Garibay, I'd also like this link to be on our website, and we could post it on social media, because we really want parents to fill out this survey as well, and we want to spread it, so hopefully a lot of residents, I hope all the board members are able to do it. But just in short, New Jersey is re-examining how it funds schools, and we have the ability now to shape this process. And by filling out the survey and sending comments, it really gives us a voice. So, I'm trying to be positive and optimistic that it will matter what we say, and again, just encouraging everyone to do it.
Mrs. Camera, thank you so much. I did see that. Did you say there was a deadline to get that in by?
Yes, November 14th.
Okay, all right, I missed that. Okay, yeah, I'm going to actually try to get to that. Would you mind putting out another reminder to the full board again? Because I certainly think everybody would like the opportunity to partake in that. And I think Mr. Scarpa wants to comment as well. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure if you don't mind getting an email out in the next few days, because I know we're all busy and sometimes that'll fall by the wayside.
And it'll be in my update again this week.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Dr. Garibay will remind us a third time, so that'll be great. Thank you, Mrs. Camera. Anything else? Oops, did we
No,
lose?
that's
Oh,
nothing for me.
okay, okay. Anybody else have any new business? New business?
The use schedule, we already discussed that, so.
Okay. Anybody else? All right, I want to finish, I have a statement. I want to finish the meeting with this. As the board knows, I am very disheartened about the incoming governor, the governor-elect. I certainly didn't support either candidate. I didn't think either of them were worth anything, to be honest with you. But I just want to make this statement to make sure that the community is clear on this board's position. As president of the Colts Neck Board of Education, I want to make it absolutely clear where this board stands. We will not allow any outside political agenda from Trenton or anywhere else to dictate what happens in our classrooms. Our responsibility is to the children and families of Colts Neck. We will not permit the sexualization of our students under the guise of curriculum. Education in our district will remain focused on academics, character, and respect, not ideology. Let me be very clear. This board will challenge any mandate that conflicts with the values of this community or the rights of parents to guide their children's moral and educational development. We will not be bullied, pressured, or intimidated into accepting anything that undermines the standards of decency and integrity that defines Colts Neck. This board stands firmly for conservative principles, parental involvement, and the protection of our children. That commitment is non-negotiable. We will continue to fight for what's right and ensure that Colts Neck remains a district guided by faith, family, and freedom. I want to make a last comment that this governor is actually salivating and cannot wait to sexualize our curriculum. And we got certain unions that are right up behind her, ready to push it, and I'm not going to stand for it. Nobody's going to bully this board. Those are my final comments tonight. I'd like to make a motion to adjourn. We're going to go into executive session. Executive session will be about 5 minutes. Yeah, no live streaming. The live streaming will end. No action will be taken, and it will run about 5 minutes. Yeah, potential litigation matters. At this time, if I could get a motion to adjourn and move into executive session.
Motion.
Second.
Aye.
All right. Great. Bye, Phyllis.
Thank you. Feel better. Thank you. It's gonna be a while. Thank you. And everyone.
Let us know if you need anything.
Okay, will do.
All right. All right, guys, we're going to try to get this, oops.